Good morning to you, Barb. Good morning, everyone. Here's our top story today. We are awaiting anti-vaccine mandate protests expected to happen outside of hospitals right across the country today, including right here in Toronto. And that's where we find our Faiza Amin standing outside Toronto General. Faiza, what do we know about what's expected for today?
Good morning, Mel. We do know that police are expected to be on hand here at Toronto General Hospital, just one of the hospital locations where protests are expected. And police say that they will be on hand monitoring and they will respond where necessary. The group behind these protests say that they're demonstrating against COVID-19 protocols and vaccine mandates also, but they say it will be a peaceful rally. However, there is concern for the safety and well-being of hospital staff as well as their patients. We've seen similar protests just recently, including after the announcement of vaccine passports, where reports that ambulances and healthcare workers were unable to get inside the hospital as a result. So there's that concern right there. Dr. Michael Warner, you've heard of him before. He tweeted out a video last night saying while people are entitled to make their voices heard, his hope is that authorities will not tolerate any form of harassment. Here's more from Dr. Warner.
Hospitals are sacred places of healing. It's where people go for safety, for protection, for treatment, for love, for peace, and sometimes for death. They're not the place to be yelling and screaming and intimidating.
And both the mayor and premier speaking out against these protests. Mayor John Tory saying, quote, "I absolutely condemn anyone taking part in this so-called protest. You are doing nothing to help people. We have long passed the time when we can have this tyranny of a few interfere with access to health care during a pandemic." Premier Ford adding, "The protests we're seeing outside of hospitals are selfish, cowardly, and reckless. Our healthcare workers have sacrificed so much to keep us safe during this pandemic. They don't deserve this kind of treatment. Not now, not ever. Leave out healthcare workers alone." Mel, we also know a petition has been started online with over 5,000 signatures. They're calling on Premier Doug Ford to put legislation in place that would prevent these protests from coming to the doors and front steps of hospitals here. So we know 5,000 people have signed that change.org petition so far, Mel.
All right, Faiza, appreciate it. Actually, do we know timing on this protest? It's this afternoon.
It's this afternoon. It's scheduled to take place at 2 p.m. here in Toronto.
Okay.